Hi there. I don't know what I'm doing. Fire Emblem Fortune's Weave is turning out to be a really interesting game for better and for worse, just from this new trailer we got and the tiny bits of extra news that weren't supposed to come out before I finished this video. And I'm not just saying that as, oh, this is a Three Houses lore, the special kind of discourse we haven't seen before in the community. It's also mechanically is going to be not just a pretty interesting Fire Emblem game, but I'd go as far to say a pretty complex RPG if it is done well. I'm gonna start off with my semi non-gameplay things, the ones that are more lore related. Crests. People have been talking about them. We got an extra news about them since the last trailer that wasn't supposed to come out because I was thinking what y'all were thinking before this shit came out. Listen, we already knew that Crests were going to be back. We saw Dietrich with his fucking Crest of Lamine. He's a clone of Mercedes and Emil. Makes sense. We saw Kai with the Crest of Aubin and said, that's a little weird. Oh wait, now this new fucking trailer comes out. The Crest of Aubin is everywhere. We also see more characters with crests. Some of them, you know, identical to Fodlan characters, Ursula being that one. And there is one very odd addition to this list though, that being Theodora. And I've been talking about appearances so far, but this one goes past appearances because I think it reveals something about the way that Crest will work that is fundamentally different to how they were treated and how they worked in Fodlan. Listen up. Them randomly giving Theodora the Crest of Gautier after the second trailer dropped, I don't think is like some accident, right? We already knew that Crests were back, and if they were given the same amount of importance as in Fodlan, why the fuck would they have not decided to give one of the main characters a crest before they released the first trailer? I'll tell you why. It's because she didn't inherit that crest through blood, through her papa or her mama. My theory, which I believe other people are starting to come up with now, crests in this game will be sort of like scrolls in Thracia. Think about it. FE4, there's holy blood. You can only get holy blood through inheritance. Yeah, you have to be a part of one of the noble families, right? Thracia hits. What are these scrolls that give the exact same benefits? It's giving me extra growth rates. Now my fucking Marty is the strongest guy in all of Udril. Ralph, more like fucking Wreck-It Ralph, am I right?
Happy 30th anniversary? They're having a party without me. Pac-Man? They invented Pac-Man? That cherry-chasing dot muncher isn't even part of this game!
And this is further solidified by something that, you know, I wasn't expecting to come out before I made this video. I already had this theory, but it's further solidified by the fact that in Kai's class trailer, that good old ostrich knight, we can see he has another crest, 2 crests. That's fucking impossible. If you want that, you need to like have stem cells implanted in you and lower your lifespan by like 2/3. Because of the extra prevalence of crests in this world, because we've seen the same ones on multiple characters, because we've seen 2 on the same character, because we've seen a character without a crest and then they have a crest a little bit later, I think they are going to be a form of equipment. I don't know how. Maybe the Divine Sovereign has like a blood bank of all of his like cousins so that he can confer blood upon people like blessings. Maybe he has like special magical artifacts that people can just wear and they get the special crest powers. I don't know, but this, I'm telling you, this is going to be the fucking case. As for the more strictly gameplay oriented things, they've really fucking cock teased us with that trailer, huh? There's like a lot of stuff they showed, but they did not explain shit. They gave us like 2 seconds of each little thing, and each of those 2 seconds torqued me harder, you know what I mean? And I will say, almost everything that is interesting me about this game can be boiled down to one word: limitation. Let's break it down. First of all, there's a time system, and it looks like there's an active timer. You see that in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. Oh, what does that mean? Time management. You're gonna have to be optimal. You're gonna have to prioritize certain things over the others. This correlates to the turns that lead up to each match. And oh, how do we expend even more of those turns other than sitting our ass in the hub world? Holy fuck. That's a big map. You know, also had a big map that was like a board game, 100 line. That was fucking horrible. The map sections, not the game itself. But this could be really fucking cool if they do it right. if they limit players and force them to make choices when they go exploring, force them to make choices in what they're doing in the hub world that is limited by time. There is a limited amount of things. In Three Houses, there was a motivation system, which you could say limited stuff in Garrick Mach, but about halfway through the game that stops fucking mattering because you can't recruit characters anymore, so you don't want to spam getting supports. Your characters are generally on the path that they need to be with their classes that you want. It doesn't fucking matter at that point. I personally, even on my first playthrough, found a hard time actually figuring out what to do there. Now I know that motivation is still here, but if it is in tandem with an actual timer and more strict turns, so you have to choose between stuff, it may make things interesting. It may make it so that each player has an even more unique playthrough, even outside of the routes. Let's say one player wants to focus on training for a day. Oh, let me spend like a bunch of money, which is also another limiting factor, which I like. People aren't going to be able to spam wyverns as much, but oh, I'm going to spend some time training. I want this character to be able to promote. There may be a little est guy or something like that. I want to focus on that. Someone else says, oh, there's like ruins all the way at the very top of the screen. I wonder if I'd be able to get up there before this match, right? If the turns and the time and the money are limited properly, then this could be really cool. This could give us a level of differentiation between playthroughs we may have never even seen in the series before. Granted, like I said, there's drawbacks. If there's too much of a surplus of money, the limiting factor on training doesn't matter. If there's too much time, it no longer becomes, oh, this is cool, everyone's gonna get to do like different things specifically, and more, oh god, I'm now obligated to do all the content because it's possible. That was an issue with Metaphor ReFantazio. They kind of marketed the game like, oh, there's a timer on whatever. You have to manage time and manage the amount of like turns it takes to go to different directions. So you can't do all the stuff in one playthrough. And then you could, very easily in fact. And that game, you know, it wasn't bad. It wasn't actively annoying. I would say because there wasn't too many things to do in those sections. Granted, I don't know how it impacts replayability, which is something that Fire Emblem is very much for. If we're going to be playing 4 different routes with, I assume, the same overworld map, there should be some built-in room for replayability there. That's not just, I mean, I guess it doesn't take too long to forge herbs. I mean, I don't know, maybe I could turn off my brain for the dungeons, like Echoes. And speaking of the dungeons, because they did show Echoes dungeons, which I'm telling you, every little gameplay thing they showed, boing, boing, boing. And within that dungeon, we saw a weapon, Vasti, Hardy. That's not what they say, but look at that. A weapon that requires 2 different proficiencies. We are in a FromSoft game now, bitch. Break out your strength faith builds. Come on. Where's the arcane dex builds at? Again, this is going to help with unit differentiation, unit uniqueness. This is something that people have had issues with in Fire Emblem for the past few installments in the series. In them trying to make it so you can try so many different things with characters, they've made it so sandboxy that most characters don't have their own niche, especially since like most personal skills are dog shit in the past 2 games, so it doesn't impact gameplay too much. Save for the homie Pandreo. Let's give it up for him. But this is more. Again, different characters are going to have different proficiencies. Different classes are going to move people towards different proficiencies, right? You're not going to want a bunch of people who specialize only in wyvern stuff, because then, uh-oh, what happens when you come across a axe that required you to also be good at fucking swords, right? Like that. But couldn't you just train to get your swords up as well? Not if it costs you time and money. This is what I'm saying, folks. This could be it. This could be an answer to a long-standing question, which was, I mean, it was solved in Fates. I think that was a pretty good amount of unique identity. Also, just older games without reclass in general. But that's what I'm saying when I'm saying I'm excited. Like, we could have a game that is so unique that every player has a different playthrough as Kaga intended, but unironically. Or we can have a game that's like another Three Houses with a metaphor-esque time limit that doesn't really matter. Or we could have something that is Three Houses but worse, a worse amount of being bogged down by random bullshit that you're obliged to do. We will have to see. I'm gonna stay hopeful. I'm gonna stay hopeful. What about you? Tell me what you think about this. Tell me what kind of cool 2 proficiency weapons do you think there will be? Are we gonna get like a sword bow like Kid Icarus? Probably not. This maybe a little bit more grounded than that, but maybe we will. Oh yeah, and as for you know, the new characters shown off in this new trailer, this game has some of the best character design in the franchise. The mask guy is so fucking cool. It sucks that Faye is definitely gonna EOS before he could be a Grand Hero Battle, because God knows they are not gonna put him on a banner if he is recruitable. He probably isn't. I'll probably never be able to play with this man and his wood and mask. I also like Bowhead, and I like guy with the mark. Liked him since the last trailer. He was there, trust me. And Altund is cool. Anyway, I'll see you later. I'm gonna be doing weekly news roundups, so expect some news 1 week from the day that they exposed the lore of Dagda.